It appears that Donald Trump has been hit in the right ear with shrapnel, some kind of glass potentially, after this attempted assassination at his rally in Pennsylvania today. The law enforcement officials have said that the former president was quickly pulled away by the Secret Service agents, and his campaign team now say that he's doing fine. The attack by a shooter who law enforcement officials say was neutralized by the Secret Service was the first attempt to assassinate a president or presidential candidate since Ronald Reagan was shot in 1981. It comes during a turbulent period in American political history. Just 4 months from the presidential elections and days before Trump is to be officially named the Republican nominee at his party's convention. Two officials have said that the shooter was not an attendee at the rally and was killed by U.S. Secret Service agents. Eyewitnesses are said to have seen a man climbing on a roof for several minutes before the shooting began. The official said the shooter was engaged by members of the U.S. Secret Service counter-assault team and killed. The heavily armed tactical team travels everywhere with former presidents and current presidents and major party nominees, and is meant to confront any active threats while other agents focus on safeguarding and evacuating the person at the center of the protection. It's still not clear whether Trump was struck by gunfire or was injured as he was pulled to the ground by agents, but the information we're now getting is that it was not gunfire specifically that caught Donald Trump's right ear, but was the ricochet of some kind of shrapnel or glass. Butler County District Attorney Richard Goldlinger said in a phone interview that the suspected gunman was dead and at least one rally attendee was killed. Trump was at the time showing off a chart of border crossing numbers during his last rally before the RNC on Monday when the shots began. It took 2 minutes from the moment of the first shot for Trump to be placed in a waiting SUV. In the video pictures that we've seen, the Secret Service rush on top of Donald Trump to try and protect him. He looks quite bewildered. His hair is tousled, his shirt is open, and you can see blood around his right ear. He then, as he's being removed from the podium, appears to mouth the words "fight" and fist pumps the air several times. As the first pop rang out, Trump said "oh" and grabbed his ear as 2 more pops could be heard, and he crouched down. We then hear more shots, and someone can be heard from the crowd near the microphone at the lectern say "get down, get down, get down," as agents tackled the former president, piling on top of him to shield him with their bodies, as is their training protocol, as other agents took up positions on stage to search for the threat. Many screams were heard in the crowd of several thousand people. A woman is heard screaming louder than the rest. Afterward, voices were heard saying "shooters down" several times before someone said, "Are we good to move?" and "Are we clear?" and then someone ordered, "Let's move." Trump could be heard on the video saying at least twice, "Let me get my shoes, let me get my shoes," with another voice saying, "I've got you, sir." Trump got to his feet moments later and could be seen reaching with his right hand towards his face. There appeared to be blood on his face. He then pumped his fist in the air and mouthed the word "fight" twice to his crowd of supporters, prompting loud cheers and chants of "USA, USA, USA." The crowd cheered as he got back up and pumped his fist. The motorcade left the venue moments later. Video showed Trump turning back to the crowd and raising a fist before he is put into a vehicle. And the police began vacating the fairground shortly after Trump left the stage in what local officials described now as a crime scene. The latest that we have is that the President Joe Biden has made a statement. He's called for the widespread condemnation of political violence following the shooting. He said the bottom line is the Trump rally is a rally that he should have been able to conduct peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it, Joe Biden said. Asked if he believed Trump was the victim of an assassination attempt, Biden said, "I don't know enough. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts right now. And Biden said he was hoping to speak with Donald Trump after the death, not just of the shooter, but after the death of somebody in that rally crowd. He said, "I've tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's been doing well. I plan on talking to him shortly. I hope when I get back to the telephone," Biden said. It's being reported that the Biden campaign is now pausing all outbound communications and working to pull down television ads as quickly as possible out of respect for, I guess, the deceased person in the crowd, and for this situation, which is not something that anybody would wish upon anybody, no matter what political side of the spectrum you are on. There is absolutely no call or reason for political violence. And whilst we condemn the policies of political candidates utilizing our rights, both as journalists, but also our First Amendment rights, we would never suggest that political violence is used, or any kind of violence, let alone an assassination attempt that has been seen in this way. And it's very important that we remember that a level of civility is always necessary when dealing with political candidates and presidents, past and present, because their lives are at risk, and individuals often can present their own version and their own interpretation of language that is often used in politics. And as we see with lone gunmen, or lone wolves as they're often called, their manifestos, when discovered, are often extremist political propaganda. And, whilst we don't have any information right now on this shooter, I have no doubt that as the investigation rolls on, we will get a sense of why Donald Trump was targeted on this day. I'm Anthony Davis. You can catch me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast on Wednesdays, co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with Midas Touch.